Version 2.2 of Honkai Star Rail is literally just a few days away as of the recording of this video. And of course, I'm very excited for Robin to be released. Robin is going to be everybody's favorite freaking singer at this point because literally every time you use her ultimate, you're not going to get away from the song. And I've already been listening to the song on repeat, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get annoyed by it. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about if you should summon for Robin or any of the 4-stars, or even Topaz and Numby, who is the other 5-star that is going to be coming out alongside Robin. But before we get into that, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Honkai Star Rail video comes out, because every comment is greatly appreciated. And of course, don't forget I'm sponsored by the ever wonderful Gamer Subs. Make sure to use code TYSTRA for 10% off. This has been a great week for Gamer Subs. A lot of you really wanted this wonderful, fantastic Egyptian cup. It is sold out, unfortunately, but we do have more cups along the way. And of course, we still have Cinder's Pyro Power. I did try it, and a short will be coming out very soon. But we're done with that. We're done with the shilling. Let's go ahead and get into today's video. So as you can see, we do have the character information pulled up for all 5 of the characters. We got March 7th, Hanya, Jueyi, Topaz and Numby, and of course, Robin. Big shout out to Honey Hunter World because I love using them to get all of my information in regards to these characters. But first, let's talk about March 7th. March 7th is the character I have the most experience with, and I think everybody has the most experience with because you literally get her within the first 5 minutes of the game, right? March 7th is a really good character. She is a ice preservation character and probably one of the best starting characters in a gacha game I've seen in a long time. Now, granted, that might change with Weathering Waves, but I digress. March 7th is a very good defensive wall unit. She's able to actually put a buff of sorts on characters where if they're attacked, she gets to counterattack against the enemy. So I think she's a really good starting out character. Now, is she considered meta in today's whole landscape? No, not in the slightest. But I do think that with her being on this banner and being able to E6 her, it's definitely one that's pretty worth, in my personal opinion. So March 7th gets a +1. Now, I've already E6'd her, so she's not going to be very good for me. But I would say that for others, she's a good preservation unit if you're not able to pull for, you know, Aventurine right now, who's out right now, or if you want to wait until Fushuan reruns with Boot Hill. So there's plenty of options. So if you are looking for a better preservation unit, probably not March 7th is the way to go, but you can wait for Fushuan in the next update. Now let's talk about Hanya. Hanya, I think, is one of the missed opportunities of Honkai Star Rail, right? She is a Harmony physical unit, which is funny because so is Robin. But, you know, with Hanya, right? Hanya has this ability to where if you use a skill point, you get, I think it's like 2 skill points in return from her skill, if I remember correctly. From her ultimate. I can find it. No, it's from her skill. Deals physical damage equal to 300% of Hanya's attack to a single target enemy and applies burden for every 2 basic attacks, skills, or ultimates allies use on an enemy. With burden, allies will immediately recover 1 skill point. Burden is only active on the latest target it is applied to and will be dispelled automatically after the skill recovery has been triggered twice. I believe, yeah, there should be an idle. Or no, I thought there was an Eidolon that gave her an extra one, but you really only can get 2 skill points from that. So you spend 1 to get 2. I think that overall it's not a bad concept, but with someone like Sparkle that we've just recently gotten, or not recently, but with Sparkle, it kind of defeats the purpose of Hanya if you've already pulled for Sparkle. Now, granted, if you are wanting to run a Hanya, it's not a bad idea, but of course, if you're pulling for Robin, your Harmony slot is already getting taken, unless you want to run like 2 Harmonies on the team, which, you know, it is what it is. But I always go by the whole team setup of DPS, Harmony unit, preservation, and abundance. Or you could even go, you know, a DPS, another DPS, preservation, and, you know, healer, or a mix and match of sorts. But I wouldn't run 2 Harmony personally, but that's just me. I'm not saying that 2 Harmony is bad. I'm saying that me personally, I wouldn't run 2 Harmony. So if you run 2 Harmony, all on you. But Shui Yi, right? Shui Yi is a decent destruction unit. I haven't been able to play her as much. I played her trial per se, but that's about it. She does decently well. She's not like going crazy in my opinion, but she's definitely a great 4-star DPS. Her ultimate ignores weakness types and reduces the enemy's toughness, which is, you know, pretty well. I mean, the enemy toughness is pretty standard in general, but I think this is overall universal because it ignores weakness types, so that's really, really good. But yeah, she's definitely decent as a 4-star DPS character. Now, we've been seeing a lot of 5 stars come out that aren't like super DPS driven, I guess, outside of Akron, right? Like, you do have Akron, and there's like 1 or 2 others, but it seems like we're getting a lot more Harmony units, and maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm like looking at this from a different perspective. But yeah, I feel as though with Shui Yi, if you're starting, right, and you get Shui Yi alongside Robin, you're golden for a little while, because Shui Yi actually does a decent amount of damage. Not a crazy amount, but a decent amount to get you through the game until you can get that 5-star DPS, right? Speaking of 5-star DPS, let's go ahead and talk about Topaz and Numby, right? Topaz is hot, right? Like, you look at her and she's stunning. Now, she is a single target DPS character, fire element, which is pretty good. Her ultimate basically is buffing up your Topaz, or not Topaz, your Numby, sorry, your Numby, which is pretty sick. Numby enters the Windfall Bonanza state with the damage multiplier increased by 187.5% and crit damage is increased by 31.25. And basically, Topaz, or not Topaz, Numby basically is your follow-up attacker. So I think it's pretty cool. Plus, again, Topaz is extremely hot. I think that she's one of those characters that just is stunning to look at, right? And I think I'm not the only guy to say that. I know that Tectone was all over Topaz for a while. But outside of the hotness factor, right? Topaz is a decent hunt character to use. Now, if you were here before 2.3 activates, right? And you got yourself Dr. Ratio, you don't entirely need Topaz and Numby, but it's definitely a character that I would say if you're not going to get your Dr. Ratio, your free Dr. Ratio, Topaz and Numby is definitely something that you should go for. And of course, let's talk about Robin. Robin, I've been hearing at E6 is considered one of the best Harmony units in the game. However, that's at E6, and I'm not summoning for E6, right? So let's go ahead and go over her stuff really, really quick. Her skill increases damage dealt by all allies by 62.5%, lasting for 3 turns. That's big because of the fact that it lasts 3 turns, right? You're getting a 62% buff to your damage for 3 turns, which is awesome, right? And I think that that's kind of understated because of the fact that most of the buffs that we're getting only last for like 1 or 2 turns, but we're getting multiple. But being able to deal a lot of damage for those 3 turns is pretty sick, right? And then of course you got the Concerto state, which increases all allies' attack, causes all teammates to immediately take action, which basically means everyone in your team is just gonna go whoosh right to the front of the line and start doing damage, right? Robin also deals physical damage on top of that and is immune to crowd control debuffs. So Robin kind of slaps. Is she the best Harmony character right out the gate? No. I feel that there's obviously other Harmony characters that do take that spot, but I do think that Robin is going to be one of those characters that I believe people will have fun with. Plus, I will say that when she uses her ultimate, she does go into that singing one of the songs, but I know that some people have been talking about how annoying that's going to be, and I could see that unless you're a fan of Robin, right? But overall, let's talk about, should you summon for Topaz and Numby? If you have already gotten your free Dr. Ratio, there is no need to summon for Topaz and Numby, in my personal opinion, unless you really, really want a short-haired silver-haired hottie on your team that has a pet. Right? Now, if I was Numby, I'd be like, yes, sir. But I digress. I don't think that you're gonna need Topaz and Numby if you've already pulled Doctor Ratio, or not pulled, but if you got your free Doctor Ratio. Now, if this is after 2.2 and you are watching this as a 2.3 and you need a good single target DPS, Topaz and Numby is really good. Should you summon for Robin? Now, this is where I'm gonna be kind of torn, because here I'm gonna pull up the Harmony list here, right? These are all the Harmony characters that are currently out in Honkai Star Rail or coming out, like Robin and of course Harmony Trailblazer, right? Now, if you see this, right, we have Sparkle, who is considered an amazing Harmony unit. We got Ranmei, which is considered a great Harmony unit, and Bronya is still top freaking tier. And then you also have Tingyun as well. Like, I don't know, man. It's tough for me to say summon for Robin, but with Firefly literally on the horizon and Jade, I think that honestly you should save your Harmony spot for a rerun of Ranmei or Sparkle. I think Ranmei. I think Ranmei is rerunning in 2.3. I'm gonna call it right now. Or not 2.3, sorry. Yeah, 2.3. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm crazy. 2.3. Or is it 2.4? I'm going crazy, aren't I? No, 2.2 is Robin. So 2.3. I think that Ranmei will rerun in 2.3. I'm going crazy, y'all. So I don't think that you should summon for Robin right now, because I think Ranmei might be more beneficial. But that's just me. If you have a Bronya, you'll be fine. You really don't entirely need Robin unless you're a fan of Robin. So if you're a fan of Robin, summon for her. If you're not particularly and you're looking for meta, she could be meta, but I think that you might want to save for Sparkle or Ranmei personally, right? So that's going to be it for today's video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, and don't forget to tell me if you are summoning for Robin. Is there something I missed? I definitely want to hear in the comments down below. Once again, this is MTashed signing off. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.